This is American Airlines. Stock market says $15 billion. And this is their frequent flyer program, appraised it up to $30 billion. The points are worth double the airline. Planes, pilots, 400 airports, 100 years of history, worth less than a spreadsheet of points. That's not a rounding error. That's a confession. Here's the official story. Airlines fly planes, and miles are a little thank you for loyalty. Here's the real story. America's biggest airlines make their most reliable money selling those miles. And in 2020, they proved it in writing to the government by accident. By the end of this file, you'll see why your last free flight was paid for by a stranger buying groceries. Case file number 3. Let's open it. Exhibit 1, where a mile is actually born. You think it works like this. You fly, the airline says thank you with points, one day you fly free. Goo, wrong. Most miles are not born on planes. They're born at the grocery store. Here's the real assembly line. A bank, Chase, Citi, American Express, buys miles from the airline. In bulk, real cash, upfront, roughly $0.01 per mile. Then the bank hands those miles to you as a reward every time you swipe a co-branded credit card. By one industry estimate, about 57% of all miles issued in America now come from card swipes, not from flying. Quick question though, where does a bank get $8 billion to spend on invisible points? From you. From everyone. Every time a card gets swiped, the store pays a fee, around 2 to 3% of the purchase. That fee funds the rewards. And here's the beautiful, ugly part. Stores don't eat that cost. They bake it into the price of everything on the shelf, which means the price you pay already includes the cost of somebody's free vacation. Pay with cash. You're still paying it. You just don't get the miles. Economists call it a quiet transfer from cash payers to card payers. The guy in seat 2A says thanks. Remember that next time a cashier asks, debit or credit. That tiny question moves billions. And this is not pocket change. In 2025, American Express paid Delta $8.2 billion. Not for fuel, not for seats, for Sky Miles. That's about 14% of Delta's entire revenue, arriving by contract every single year, whether the planes are full or not. So a mile isn't a thank you note. It's a currency. The airline is the mint. The bank is the customer. And your wallet is the distribution network. Exhibit 2, the margins. Because flying planes is a famously terrible business. Fuel, storms, unions, $100 million machines that only earn when they're full. In a good year, an airline keeps single digits from every dollar. A home run is 9%. Now look at the miles. Analysts put the margin on selling them at roughly 50%. Half of every dollar is profit. In this industry, that's not a business line. That's a cheat code. American Airlines collected $5.6 billion from its card partners in a single year, then signed an exclusive deal with Citibank, starting in 2026, projected to push that toward $10 billion. Selling invisible points, half margin guaranteed by contract. Selling seats, a rounding error with wings. Which brings us to the day the airlines admitted everything. In writing, spring 2020, planes grounded. Airlines bleeding cash, desperate for loans. And when you're desperate for a loan, you pledge your single most valuable asset. So what do they pledge? Not the planes, not the routes, not the brands, the miles. American pledged AAdvantage, valued at $24 billion, while the whole airline was worth less than half that. United pledged Mileage Plus, $20 billion. Delta borrowed $9 billion against Sky Miles, valued at $26. In every single case, the loyalty program was worth more than the airline that ran it. Let that land. Lenders looked at everything that flies, wings, engines, pilots, and decided it was the cheap part. And remember Delta's $8 billion from Amex? That's more than Delta's entire operating profit, meaning the flying itself barely breaks even. Sound familiar? Costco's $5 chicken, McDonald's burgers. The thing on the poster is never the product. The planes exist to make the points worth wanting. Exhibit 3. Once you see the currency, you see the superpower. The airline isn't just selling miles. It's the central bank of its own money. It prints miles out of thin air, costs nothing. It sets the exchange rate, how many miles your seat costs. And here's the part no real central bank could get away with. It can devalue your savings overnight. And when a bank prints money nonstop, you get inflation. Same thing here. Every year, airlines issue far more miles than passengers manage to spend. The pile of unspent miles keeps growing, and the printer never stops. A real central bank has to answer for that. Hearings, press conferences, angry economists. This one doesn't even publish the numbers. Your miles just sit in an account, quietly losing value, while the company that issued them decides, in a meeting you will never see, what they're worth this quarter. Imagine a currency where the issuer can do that. You don't have to imagine. It's in your wallet right now. The trip that cost 60,000 miles last year quietly costs 120 this year. They don't need your permission. Most programs deleted their award charts entirely. The price is whatever the website says today. And my favorite line in the whole file? Breakage. Miles that die unused. The airline already sold them to a bank for real cash. And if you never redeem them, the product costs nothing to deliver. It's the only currency where the issuer profits most when you lose your wallet. But a fair investigation reads the whole file. 3 things the airlines would say back. 1. This machine arguably keeps ticket prices down. Billions in card money means they don't have to squeeze it all out of fares. 2. The game has referees now. In 2024, U.S. regulators opened an inquiry into the biggest loyalty programs, asking exactly our question. Can an airline quietly devalue what you've earned? And 3. This empire has a single point of failure. It runs on credit card swipe fees and consumer spending. If regulation caps those fees or card spending cracks, the most profitable part of the airline isn't an airline, and that's suddenly a very fragile place to keep $30 billion. One more thing, and this one is about you. If you're sitting on a big pile of miles right now, congratulations. You're a lender. You gave the airline an interest-free loan in a currency they print on terms they can rewrite tonight. Every year you hoard them, they quietly get worth less. People who study these programs have a rule: earn and burn. Use them, because the miles in your account aren't savings. They're a coupon with an expiration date the airline hasn't announced yet. And the house always devalues before you check out. So here's the verdict on case file number 3. An airline is a bank that happens to own planes. The miles aren't the reward, the flight is. It's the prize that keeps you swiping, and every swipe sends cash from a bank to an airline in a deal you never see. So next time anything is free, a flight, an upgrade, a chicken, don't ask what it costs. Ask who already paid and what they bought, because usually what they bought is you. And if you think airlines are sneaky, next case, I'm opening the free video games that somehow make more money than Hollywood. The download costs nothing. The file says otherwise. That one opens next week. And if this file surprised you, subscribe. It's free. And unlike the miles, it never loses value. Got a company you want investigated? Drop it in the comments. I read all of them. Case closed.